electrifying sporting events in the history of the world, 40 Yards of Gold. Hear from their co-founders and why maybe you have never heard of it. Let's take a look.
NFL 40-yard dash competition. Sarah, does this excite you?
We love to see these athletes doing things off the field and competing, so I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I will be tuned in. I used to love watching the NFL's Fastest Man and Darryl Green do that.
Hope that this thing does well because it would be something that we could cover.
Who fast? Hey, which one of y'all supposed to be fast, though? What you run? Faster than who?
Are you the fastest Raider player?
Yes, I am.
Have you actually put it to the test on the field?
Against anybody?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's challenged me.
But if the challenge presented itself?
They won't win.
40 Yards Gold's coming up. Who's going to be your biggest challenger? Myself, as usual.
You want speed?
What you would call rare speed.
Oh, yeah, definitely rare speed. Man, that's God-given.
You just got speed.
Steve will test his speed against some of the fastest football players in the world. Steve is taking part in the 40 Yards of Gold competition.
We eat fast, we drink fast, we sleep fast.
Sky's the limit. I got God speed.
You lined up next man to next man, that's a different ball game.
There's nothing else to be said.
All you so-called speedsters that are in today's NFL that claim you're the fastest, if you're not here, all of that talk is null and void. Period.
I told you what time it was. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. So who is the fastest man in pro football? 40 Yards of Gold will answer that question.
This is a scintillating high-tech presentation. That track is going to look like a 3D illusion like you've never seen.
What we're dealing with now is augmented and virtual reality.
The product quality to the consumer is what this is all about.
Experience that the fans get to have, downloading the app, and really being able to become part of the event in itself.
People are going to see something like they've never seen before on television.
And that in itself makes it dope.
And creates something that I think fans would just love.
In my prime? Oh, I'm winning it. I'm definitely winning.
Wow! Marquise Goodwin wins the first ever 40 Yards of Gold, and he does it in style.
All honest to God, man, if you believe in yourself, you can achieve it, man. The reward will always last longer than the pain.
A competitive event with world-class athletes.
When you think of Florida, we think of speed. So what better place to have an event like this, especially just managed?
People up front and close, so all the celebs and the VIPs out in the audience. I think 40 Yards of Gold has gold in their hands.
Everybody's used to watching the finished product, but they never get to see the work that's put in behind the scenes.
This is the story of how two young black men created a new sport. It all began in 2012. Two University of Michigan graduates had a vision to create an event that would uplift their culture and inspire their community. As former college teammates, they set out to develop a global platform that fused fierce competition with the latest in entertainment and technology. They made a commitment to bring their vision to reality, and 40 Yards of Gold was born.
So I'm here with the co-founders of 40 Yards Ago, Dr. Elijah Bradley and Charles Stewart. Now, fellas, what we just watched was pretty incredible, but let's go back a bit. How did you get to that product that we just saw that took place back in 2019?
Elijah and myself, we met at the University of Michigan in 2004. He's from Richmond, California. I'm from right outside Detroit, very similar type areas. And we both just clicked because we were both like just super competitive, on the field and school, and everything. So we just kind of developed a friendship at Michigan, and it really just transitioned to us just being friends after college. I took a job down in Miami. He had a residency coming up. I was like, hey man, why don't you do your residency in Miami? He came down here, checked it out, and he was like, yeah, I'm coming.
It was interesting that the only residency that I got accepted to was in Miami. So it's pretty much, destiny to actually come down here for us to just kind of reconnect after, our tenure at Michigan. One night, Charles had a dream, and he told me the dream the next morning. It was basically of the fastest football players racing each other. I'm a track guy. I've always been a real fast football player, and, speed has always been my thing. And when he mentioned that to me, I said, wow, that's an amazing idea. And we just kind of started brainstorming. I came up with the name 40 Yards of Gold.
This is it, the 40 Yards of Gold final. Offense versus defense. We are about to find out who is the fastest man in professional football.
Now, immediately, right when I said the name, it was like, we knew exactly that was the name of our brand. It was like, just like he said, it was the fire that kind of really got ignited. And that passion and that fire has continued all the way to today.
Now, Chuck, I want to ask you, this is your dream that you kind of had, but world's fastest man, NFL's fastest man, whatever, that had been done before. What was so special about your dream that you were like, yo, this is something that I want to do? And what did you say to then convince your buddy, Dr. Eli here, to, build on it and you guys work together to make this happen?
The NFL's fastest man competition, I think it aired from 1984 to 2007. I think that's the time frame. When that was going on, it was kind of a side event at the Pro Bowl. And honestly, I didn't even really watch it. I knew that with the popularity of the players today, social media, and just the competitive nature of people racing, it just made sense to put everything into it. We said we need to do this, in a way that really just stands out, where it's more of an experience. I came across a clip from a Cleveland Cavaliers game where they had field projection onto the courts. I saw the court dropping out and all these different things. And, I was like, why don't we incorporate this into an athletic competition?
Yeah.
Let's have guys running on this. And that'll be something that people have never seen.
We really wanted to create an event that was a glorified 40-yard dash competition. Obviously, we understand how important the 40-yard dash is in football to evaluate the speed of professional athletes. And so we just really wanted to hype that up, obviously make a tournament of head-to-head 40-yard dash races. And this had never been done before. And I think we were able to do that successfully.
Now, Eli, give me a timeline. What did those years between 2012 and 2019, well, if you can answer just what took place between those 7 years? That's a lot of years of hard work, but what was that hard work?
We got started with the idea, just like any, entrepreneurs, you got to put together a business plan. You got to address, what the purpose of this is and who the audience is, who is this going to appeal to, and just really kind of finding a way to monetize the 40-yard dash competition and give fans what fans probably didn't know that they really were looking to see. There had been so much controversy about who the fastest players were in football, and so we just wanted to put an end to the ongoing controversy and figure out, how we can find a definitive answer to who the fastest player was in NFL. That was really the main purpose. So from there, we really kind of started with the research, the development, because we understood the significance of protecting the intellectual property. That was the most important thing. Our families didn't even know about this for, I would say, maybe the first, 5 years? 5 years. We kept everything under wraps. Yeah. We were just grinding and, taking care of what we need to do to protect the property.
We had to be careful who we presented this information to because we knew we didn't have the resources to do it like at that time where we were presenting the information. And we knew that, these big companies, these major corporations, if they liked it enough, they could just go ahead and do it themselves. And then in 2016, we actually started presenting this to actual NFL players, just to get the feedback. Hey, is this something that you guys would, participate in? And the overwhelming response was, of course.
Yo, this Devin Hester, Atlanta Falcons, and I'm in it. Show what I can do in the 40-yard dash.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, New York Giants, and thanks to the 40 yards of goals for giving me the opportunity to showcase my talents.
Hi, this is Justin Forsett, running back with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm excited about this 40 yards of goal. This thing about to be epic. Let's go.
So we knew we had something there. It was just a matter of raising capital. And finally, in 2019, we were able to find an investor. We had been extending our trademark for a couple of years. We were up to the last extension.
Right.
So if we didn't have that event in 2019, we wouldn't have been able to register the trademark.
That would have been 4 years wasted, 7 total, but 4 years specifically spent protecting the intellectual property.
Now in 2019, your vision came to life. You had 40 yards of gold. Chuck, I want to ask you, what was that experience like? Just take me back to that day of the event. And Eli, I want to hear from you as well. But that day, what was it like? We're in Miami. We're having the 40 yards of gold. You got fans. You got a performance from Rick Ross. Just take me back to that day and explain it to me. What was it like?
Honestly, it was a very nerve-wracking day, man. It wasn't what you would imagine it to be for people that worked on something for such a long time. It was so many things going on, and this event is something that typically a major corporation would put on, right? So you have departments, marketing, your travel stuff, your production, all those different elements. You have a corporation that handles that. In this situation, it was Elijah and myself. We really handled every aspect of this. At the end, with the response I saw from the players, the fans, people that got a chance to see it on TV, people that were there in the venue, that was really satisfying, to me, because I knew that we had something that could be here to stay.
It was very special from the perspective of us having a vision in our minds and actually bringing that vision to life. I think we all had a really, really good experience. I think all the players and fans that were there, everybody stayed to the end. And everybody was there on the field at the end. All the little kids were racing and, really got to introduce the youth to, NFL players. We were very open in allowing, these players to interact with the children interact with the players had a great time, they loved it, and so did, the fans. Some of our close friends, family members, just different individuals that I didn't even know, really came up to me at the end and said, man, you guys really inspired me. If you were able to do it, okay, I'm gonna move forward with my business idea. Mm-hmm.
My name is Sabrina Fulton. I am the executive director for the Trayvon Martin Foundation. I am the mother of Trayvon Martin and also Javaris Fulton. And it was certainly an honor connecting with Eli and Chuck. It was certainly an honor, just being able to bring our young people to the event. I don't know who had the most fun, whether it was the kids or the adults. We did have quite a bit of kids and they had a good time. It was hard calming them back down at the end.
So fellas, you just explained to me an amazing event. We watched and we saw the quality of the product. It was a $1 billion product. That's what it looked like to me for someone who wasn't there, for someone who just watched it on video and heard you speak about it. But there was a lot that took place in the background. There was a lot that took place that a lot of people don't understand. I'll allow you to address that.
We initially contacted the NFLPA just to let them know our business idea, the plans that we have for players. They said, yeah, the players can participate in this, as we already understood, from the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. And they said, this is similar to a game show or a skills show. And so they said, hey, listen, I think you guys have a great idea. Once you come in, present, your idea to, some of our executives here at the annual Player Board of Representatives meeting in Key Biscayne. And we thought it was an amazing opportunity. We were very, very happy to hear that the NFLPA was actually interested beyond just giving us, the quote unquote approval to actually have the event. To the point to where they actually thought that, a collaboration was something that they were interested in. And so, we went and we presented the information to the NFLPA, to the executives over there. We presented the format of the tournament, the technology integration, the venue arrangements that we had in place, production, broadcast partners, the participants that, we had already got endorsements from, and players that we were going to be extending invites to. And our interested sponsors, let them know that we had an investor that was pretty much backing everything. And they said, wow, we kind of pretty much put everything on a silver platter for them.
After the meeting, they actually sent us a list of sponsors that we should contact. They were offering to make more connections to other sponsors that we told them we were interested in. So judging from the feedback in the meeting and them sending us their partners, like NFL or NFLPA, it was a partnership that we'd always wanted.
Because in the meeting, they let us know that, the procurement services would pretty much happen pretty quickly. We said, hey, listen, we probably looking at maybe 12 to 16 guys. They said, you guys probably want to extend the list. So we actually gave them maybe about 20 to 24 players.
So we said, we're willing to go ahead and put these players' initiation fees into an escrow account, pay your fee, but we'll also put the players' money up, in good faith. So at that point, they just stopped answering our emails.
From here, you guys everything is sounding good. And then things start to slow down. What happens next? What was that? Because when things start to slow down, that doesn't sound good.
No, it's not good. We contacted them. A couple of days went by, no answer. Week went by, no response. 2 weeks goes by, no response. And it was about the third week. We get an email that was mistakenly sent to us from the CEO of their production company.
So we knew that there was definitely some collusion going on behind the scenes, some conversations that were taking place that we weren't privy to.
You offer to put the players' money in an escrow account previously. People will ask, why didn't guys get paid?
It's very, very important for the participants to understand because, there was a lot that took place behind the scenes that the participants did not know. They weren't privy to this information. They didn't know everything that was going to take place and how, our funding and the financial success was being disrupted behind our backs. We were literally being sabotaged. They didn't know this story. They didn't understand what was going on. And because we didn't necessarily present this to them and let them know that. But it's important for them to understand that the money was there from the very beginning. We had the investor funds to put their initiation fees up. And I don't think that the players, knew anything about, these type of conversations that were being had. The money was there. And so now it kind of comes down to, well, what happened to it? And, who disrupted that financing to the point to where they weren't able to get paid. This is a sponsor-driven event. And so when our interested sponsors contacted the NFL, specifically FanDuel, it seemed as though whatever was said was detrimental to us. I don't know exactly what was said, but the conversation led to FanDuel withdrawing the proposal that they were about to give to us. Everything kind of started going downhill from there. So all the relationships that we had presented to the NFLPA started to fall apart, unfortunately.
Now, I must ask, it sounds like everything kind of fell apart when the NFLPA tells FanDuel that they don't even know who you guys are. Were you ever given a reason or told a reason from the NFLPA? Did you ever hear back from them? Did they ever tell you why they decided to kind of pull the plug on your operation? Or have you ever been told, why that partnership wasn't going to happen after you all met with them in person.
We had an opportunity to meet with a high-level executive about 40 yards ago. When he saw the footage, you know, he said, this looks like something that's perfect for the NFL, the NFLPA. You know, why didn't they work with you? So he actually sent an email to the executives he knew over at the NFLPA and asked why you guys didn't work with 40 yards ago. They said, while the idea was interesting, they had no confidence in the organizers. And if we got new management in place, they would entertain working with the brand again. It makes you ask why, and we still don't have an answer to that.
And it was very ironic that within that same email where they said they didn't have confidence in the organizers, they said, hey, listen, we know that, you know, many players were upset and agents were upset because players didn't get paid. Well, they disrupted the financing that would have paid the players and actually been very lucrative for all parties involved. And then they said,
we heard you guys have problems with players pulling out and players not getting paid, when they called every player to try to get them to pull out. It's almost
so
like,
it was like, what?
Did you get a call from anybody about not participating?
No, I haven't got no calls from nobody.
I'm talking about before the event, bro. Did anybody reach out to you and tell you that you shouldn't run?
Shit, yeah, I did. Yeah, they did, the NFLPA.
Going into season, especially with last season.
But you initially said that the NFLPA told him that he could not do it, even after he signed the contract.
There's no doubt, and I'll ask whatever you need me to do, but my understanding is, on top of the other things, is that the NFLPA definitely was not feeling him doing it. But my understanding is that they said to him they don't want him to do it. He definitely told me that he caught heat from them. As soon as I knew, I texted you while I was on the call that I didn't think it was going to happen.
But it's 2 days away. Do you understand that? Like, why didn't he tell us this last week? We could have replaced him.
You know, that was really blindsided to us because we had never had a conversation with the NFLPA regarding their disapproval of the event or just saying, hey, listen, you guys can't have this, or the player just can't participate. You know, they never once told us not to move forward. Mm-hmm. So we continue to move forward. We shot the commercial you know, from the commercial, we started getting a lot of media coverage. A lot of media coverage started rolling in. We had over 100 positive articles that were published. We had over 2 billion media impressions. The internet was going crazy.
Double up, 3 or 4 times, I ain't telling no lies, I just run it up. Never let a hard time humble us. Double up, I ain't telling no lies, I just, yeah. I ain't telling no lies, I just
5, 4, 3, 2, that's time. I got to you that money, my dreams come true, my life in diamonds. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew?
I like to call it put him up and put him down. That can move.
Yeah, pick him up and put him down.
Yeah.
You right. Use Tom and Jerry.
So we got DRC, Robbie Anderson, Ted Ginn. We got some boys that can move.
Old, Robbie can't beat me.
Yeah.
I know this.
And that's a whole lot of bold talk, man.
There's not a whole lot of bold talk.
You ain't gonna fold under the pressure, are you?
I can't fold. This ain't origami. Talk about fold. It ain't no folding.
You ain't gonna fold? You ready?
I'm ready.
I just want to know what gives you advantage over the other folks that can run.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I got God speed.
Period.
The speed I got, nobody can't teach this.
Right.
I jump out the bed and just go fast.
And just go. So if you was to give yourself a percentage,
100% chance I'm knocking everybody off.
Oh, you know what?
I ain't doing no more capping.
You know where you from. He really don't need no introduction. We built from the same cloth. I just was born a little earlier.
That's it.
Period.
That's it.
Hey, hold on. You say you running what? I know that from racing guys in practice. Yeah. I'm still 9 of them. I got money. I keep it on me in case somebody on the back. Yeah. I keep that shit. I love the race. Yeah, me too. I'm ready. No scratching nothing. I'm gonna let you keep all shoes on too. Listen, these boys doing a lot of keep you laughing at me in the stands and stuff. I can't wait.
Man, that ice ain't weighing you down, bro?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm in training right now. So when this come off, I'm gonna be floating.
40 yards of goal, gods of speed. Coming this summer in Miami. Some of the fastest football players on earth. Under the lights is one thing, but when the bag is on the line, only the cream will rise to the top. Who's gonna take it? This ain't none of you beat me running, actually.
Now, had the NFLPA ever given you all any indication that they had no confidence in you?
Not at all. So that's why we continue to move forward, thinking that eventually that relationship could take place. I mean, they spoke directly to our investor. We had a conference call with our attorney, investor, their production CEO. We had every inclination to believe a deal would be done.
Our major investor, pulled out because of all the, just the backlash and the adversity that we were getting from the NFLPA.
Just give us a fair shot. Don't go and tell our headliners to pull out. Don't move the goalposts and act like it's a fair game. Don't go, kill the sponsors and stuff like that, and then just say, oh, you guys failed at financing
and try to smear us.
Yeah, no,
come on now.
If you really don't believe in this, then just let it be.
No,
and watch it fail. If you think it'll fail, but I think they know that it's not going to fail. So that's why they did what they did. And we're going to still continue to fight for that equal opportunity that we deserve.
Yeah.
Because we've earned that.
And I think that, obviously from their response of, a lack of confidence in us, well, if you put the product out there and you compare it to, the NFL's fastest man competition, we can see the stark contrast between the two. I mean, one looks like a major corporation put it on. The other kind of looks like just a regular race.
And it's no disrespect to the NFL's fastest man competition, but things progress. Technology is different now. It's time to move forward. And it's time for the world to really see what this is about.
Well, fellas, from what I understand, you raised a significant amount of money before, ever getting any kind of sponsorship deal. Can you talk about that?
It took us 7 years, Jeff, to raise the funds that we raised. Systemically, Black entrepreneurs are denied resources. I think it's at about maybe 1% of Black entrepreneurs that get venture capital funding. And we're talking about modern day time, even now. And that's been that way for such a long time, since I can ever remember, and probably before me. But so obviously, with, the blockade there, us actually falling into that 1% of actually getting the funding so that we can move forward.
After hearing all that you guys had to say, what does the future look like 40 yards of gold? And what does the future have in store for your event?
The possibilities are endless with this event. We plan to do this with all the sports that hinge on speed. Football, baseball, rugby, cricket, soccer. This is an actual sport. It just happens to feature the top professional athletes from different sports. And then when you think about the fastest football player going up against the fastest soccer player, concepts like that, that's the platform that we were able to create.
Well, fellas, since the event, you guys created quite a buzz. What were some of those things that took place since the event for the people that really care and that really wanted to see you guys succeed?
The event really just created a whole movement about the fastest players in the NFL. You know, if you pay attention to social media, you'll see a lot of players start challenging each other, challenging our champion, and just saying that I believe I'm the fastest. We had to turn about 30 guys away that wanted to run, you know, because the roster just filled up quick.
One of our other major achievements was generating over 32.6 million Google search results for how to bet on 40 yards of gold, just to be able to make that type of traction. So now we know that the sports wagers community is at the table, and obviously this potentially could be a premier sports wagering event.
And I would say the biggest thing is that we actually changed the Madden speed ratings for the champion, the runner-up. After the event, they adjusted Marquise Goodwin's speed rating and Dante Jackson. This is something we both grew up playing. You know, it's to know that we actually affected that game.
That was major.
It doesn't get bigger than that to us.
Yeah. I mean, rest in peace to John Madden. I mean, that guy has such a huge impact. So this was monumental because, again, this typically doesn't happen when NFL players request it.
All right, fellas. Well, you guys also made a huge impact, not just for the community and the culture of Miami, but also for the Black community. Just talk to me about that impact and how that made you feel and what you guys were able to accomplish.
What's up, little man? All right, go ahead, have a seat right here. Just gonna sit right in front of me. Come on, baby. Yeah, let's see right here. Just sit down so you're not comfortable. Yeah, right there. You just look straight forward, okay? There you go. You know, I think one of the main things that we were able to accomplish was inspiring future young Black entrepreneurs. We all experience a lot of systemic things that are put in place to block us from actually achieving what we can achieve. And so I think one of the main things that 40 Yards Ago was able to show future entrepreneurs and people that are actually in this space and doing whatever they're doing in life is to keep moving forward regardless of the adversity that may confront you. Because if you move forward and just keep on going and never giving up, at some point in time, you'll be able to reap the fruits of your labor.
From being where we're from, it was important for us to give back in the best capacity we could. You know, we extended tickets to the Trayvon Martin Foundation, the Circle of Brotherhood, inner city football programs throughout Florida. And we're going to continue to give back, continue to support the community and the youth. And hopefully our story could be an inspiration to the next generation to go ahead and pursue your dreams and, you know, fight through the adversity.
One of the 4 main pillars of the NFL's Inspire Change initiative is the economic advancement of people of color. You know, we truly believe that as the NFL actually does more work to open up opportunities in the Black community, you know, 40 Yards Ago, for one, is a minority-owned organization, which we believe is the epitome of what the NFL seeks to accomplish within the Black community. It's a culture-infused event. It's electrifying. Fans love it. The NFL fan base, you know, once they're exposed to, you know, this entire property, I believe that this would be something that the NFL and our NFLPA would like to partner with us on.
Well, thank you all for tuning in with me and the co-creators of 40 Yards Ago. Trust and believe you will see this event in the very near future.
Hey, Chad, have the guys enjoyed it, in your opinion, tonight?
Listen, this is amazing. They love it. They love it. And the thing that I really like about it is when word of mouth gets back about the event, about the atmosphere, the experience itself, the opportunity, you know, for everybody to come together, get together, have a little fun, man. This is going to be big next year. This is going to be really, really, really big next year. Remember, I said it first. This is very special, man. They're loving it, all of them.
All right, thanks very much, Chad. We're getting ready for the next one.